The GROW program stands for Gang Realities in Our World, and it's a unit where we have a bunch of diverse gangs together all in one complex, one unit, living together, working towards the same mission. Basically, it's a program that focuses on gang interventions. There's a lot of different sessions that go on in that group, but the basic thing is to work on getting them out of the gang or to learn about what it is to be in a gang and the negative aspects of it.
Well, most of these kids, it's a gang unit. We have 24 kids. We hold 24 beds. A lot of these kids come from different gangs. We have GDs, IGDs, IVLs, Crips, Bloods, Sir 13s. And in a regular population, these kids would have never have a chance to coincide with other gang members. On our unit, they really have no choice. So you see Vice Lords, you see GDs playing basketball together, playing cards. And out in the real world, they probably would have never did that. And we teach them that we all bleed red blood, so it doesn't make no difference what color nationality you are, what color you are, or what your beliefs is. And we're here for a reason.
It's not only the gang, but it's like a messed up environment that you in. So you just a part of the environment. You just to the environment.
Did you ever think to yourself, I don't want to do that, or did you think, well, this is
like after being incarcerated so long, you think like stuff you done was dumb, but when you was younger, you didn't think. You just was wild. But when you get incarcerated, you become smarter and you just can focus and just realize what you was doing, realize what you was putting your family through. So it's like that.
They live together, they do the groups together, they spend their free time together, all in the same unit, living together, working towards that same mission.
Well, it's something we started in the Department of Corrections. Has been a big problem here, especially in the juvenile facility. The gangs, the gang problems, the kids just getting up in groups and causing problems. A lot of these wouldn't be legitimate on the street, but once they come to DOC, then they become part of this. A lot of violence, some extortion problems in the regular population. So we just try to address this need. The kids who are identified as being members, we bring them down here. We kind of isolate them from the rest of the population. They wreck by themselves. They eat by themselves. We try to cut them off and really focus on, our program consists mostly of independent thinking, make them see the realities of what they're doing in these gangs. I mean, they say they're claiming they're helping out the community, but what they're really doing is they're causing damage, whether it's selling drugs or just, robbery and crime like that.
Well, of course, at the beginning, we were a little nervous about it because we didn't know how that program would be having all those kids together. But what we have found is that they do a lot better being together. They kind of police themselves and they do the program and they work on their groups and they interact together.
It's like 14, that's when I really got involved in the streets, stealing, fighting, stuff like that. And then now, basically what you said, now that you're locked up, you think about that stuff, you get smarter, go out there and do something different.
Well, the offenders that are in that group have been identified security threat group members. So they have to be identified to participate in that group. We also have some of the other offenders we have identified them upon intake, and if they have caused problems at other facilities or maybe they have a history of being involved in gangs, then we place them in that program. Or another referral process would be the offenders that are out in general population that are participating in activities that have to do with gangs. Maybe they have a lot of gang literature. Maybe they've participated in batteries on other offenders or fights because of gang activity. Then those offenders are also placed in that program. But we're getting to the point to where we are placing every offender that is a serious security threat group member that has been identified to participate in the GROW program.
But it's like in the streets, like people just don't come up to you and try to recruit you in a gang. It's basically not a gang like running a 5 or under 6 or nothing. It's just the point of where you live at, you know what I mean? It's just the hood you live in, like not even the hood, just the environment, you know what I mean?
See, that's interesting because I think a lot of people just naturally assume either somebody recruits you to be in a gang or you go search out a gang and say, I want to join. But that's not how it is.
It's not all GDs. It's GDs, Vice Lords, Sir 13, we all brought them all together. to deal with this. We force them to interact. You know, in general population, GD and the Vice Lords, they probably wouldn't associate. They'd be, you know, against each other. They wouldn't talk. And here, since they're isolated, they have to. They realize they're really the same. They're more the same than they are different. You know, maybe they were brought up different in these rival gangs, but they're really more similar than they are different. They're down there by themselves, isolated, so then they have to play cards together. They have to play basketball, or they can't do it. They just, I mean, which they realize they're the same, so it cuts down on that problem. I mean, they realize that, you know, this Vice Lord and I'm GD, but, you know, we grew up just far from each other. Our mamas are the same. You know, we both didn't have fathers. We both had the same charge. We're both trying to do the same things with our lives, and it's weird because at first when you can see them, it's a little scary at first when you know these have been, in general population, maybe they started a pretty big fight. Now they're almost best buddies. You know, they're showing each other respect. They're playing cards with each other. They're really just doing things that you don't see in regular population. We hope this will continue once they leave here, once they go back out in the streets, that they'll realize, you know, that lifestyle they once led won't be the same. They realize what they were doing was really destroying their lives.
We were actually we had a great opportunity to be able to develop, implement, and pilot the first gang intervention program for juveniles, at least in the state of Indiana. But from what I understand, there's not too many other programs in the United States that focus directly on gang intervention.
All right, well, we're going to start out just by talking about your role models growing up. Who did you look up to as you were growing up?
Looked up to my big brother and my cousin, mainly. That's who I looked up to.
What do you look up to them for?
Like my big cousin, he was out on the streets though. He was doing negative stuff, and my brother, he was doing positive stuff. He stayed in school and all that. That's what he was doing.
Who do you end up following though?
My cousin. That's what. Like,
I mean, why is that? Why was his lifestyle better than your brother's?
It seemed like a lot of people knew him. I don't know. He seemed like he had the better respect that's doing the bad things.
More respect from the community, maybe. At least you thought so.
Yeah.
Was your father around growing up?
Yeah, my father was around. Then he got incarcerated like when I was like around 5, probably like in '98. Caught a drug charge, but he got out like 5 years later though.
Mm-hmm. Has he been in your life since then? Or
Yeah, he been
in and out. Thompson, who do you look up to growing up?
Couple friends that ain't around no more.
What kind of friends? I mean, older.
Like, yeah, they was older when I was younger.
Why did you look up to those guys?
I was younger, got involved with the wrong crowd.
But why? What about like your friends that you ended up looking up to? What attracted you to looking up? I mean, what attracted that kind of lifestyle?
Started doing things I thought was cool, like making a lot of money and stuff, having fun, easy money.
Illegal things for the most part. Or
Yeah.
Who'd you look up to, Moss?
Like, growing up, right up till I was 10, it was my family, like my grandma, my auntie, my mom. When she was around, my big sister. Then from like 10 on up, I just went over here, started hanging around my mom's boyfriend, and just went all out.
What do you look up to him for?
But he had a lot of respect. I mean, he had a lot of respect, and we ain't never really need for nothing. I mean, he was just a man of the house, and I used to always think, well, I want to be like him one day. And,
What kind of things did he do to earn that respect?
to be honest, I really couldn't tell you. His outside life was probably from our family, like in our house. So he just brought in money or whatever, and we used to just sit in there, count the money. We used to take it, and he used to wrestle us and stuff. So we just.
You guys talk a lot about respect, like respect of your neighborhood, respect. What typically do you guys think that people in the neighborhood respect?
In the neighborhood, like probably.
They know, like knowing what they do best and good at it.
Yeah.
People respect them for that.
If it's illegal or legal?
Yeah, both ways.
But I mean, what kind of growing up did you guys look for that, would earn? Respect is kind of a broad word. I mean, what does that mean to you? Why do you respect somebody?
When I was younger, I looked up to people, respecting people by like, I don't know, like I always liked the money or something, or shoes or something. So you was that person in the neighborhood that got a lot of money and had a lot of respect. Like with certain people, they got a lot of respect. People know their boundaries. So you feel me? Like things that they do, give them their respect in the neighborhood. So people know to respect this person by things that they done. Yeah, like that.
That respect or fear, though. You know,
I mean, like, cause some people they got respect that was growing up in my neighborhood. It wasn't much as fear. It was always giving back to the community. That's what, like, I was around. They was doing negative things like selling drugs and stuff, but they was giving it back to the community though.
like what were they doing to give back to the community?
Like holidays, buying bikes, gifts, Thanksgiving, Christmas, buying turkeys and all that.
For
It was
poor
giving back.
families? Were they
Yeah,
also
about families in the community.
Were they also selling drugs to these families?
Yeah, yeah.
That maybe
Also,
they had to provide.
Yeah.
They had to provide because there's no one else to provide.
yeah.
So is that really doing a good thing or a bad thing if you're selling dope to mom and dad and then buying
Yeah.
their kids Christmas?
Negative things. Yeah,
I mean, it's cause and effect. If they didn't sell, maybe someone else would have.
yeah.
It's not really a positive thing down to it. There's
No.
things they could have done differently.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we'd agree. But your role models growing up, like what kind of things did you look up to? When we talked about money, nice shoes, nice clothes, and just having cash, driving nice cars. What else did you look up to? Like what types of qualities? What kind of man, let's say he's brave or he's
Like somebody
smart.
not
What
somebody
are the-
like somebody that's not gonna let you down, tell you to do good in school and stuff. Like all my role models, they did it, but then I look at different stuff. They was doing negative things too, so I was kind of confused coming up.
Well, actions speak louder than words. I mean, you can say one thing if you do something else. It's harder to follow what you're saying.
Somebody you can depend on, like, as far as you need somebody to talk to, they there, you know what I mean? Whether it's family or friends, but
Was your father around growing up?
not really.
Thompson, was yours?
No.
So none of you had father figures. So you had to find alternative people in the community to look
I
up
looked
to.
it up to older people because I ain't never had a father, so I looked up to some of my
You
older.
never had someone to teach you how to be a man. I mean, you had your mothers or grandmas or sisters, but there's no one to teach you how to be a man.
Had to learn on our own.
You were younger. Did you guys make good choices about who to try to be?
To be honest,
I did, but I did.
I didn't really make a choice to pick a role model other than my family, and until like my mom came home and was her boyfriend, and I ended up like just paying attention to him, like, and just seeing how he provided for our family. You know what I mean? We never really needed anything, and then I just like respected him because he was just like the man in the house. And like as I got older, you know what I mean, I should just think and I used to put it all together and like, oh man, we bring this in from doing this, and you know what I mean. Then I used to think, well, I can do that one day. And end up trying it. Never got caught for it, but still here though.
Eventually, you got caught up in something because y'all are here. What types of, whether these men that you looked up to, the negative influence in your community, of course, they had the girls, the women, the money, the nice stuff, made you look up to them. What else? What else was so intriguing about that? What else was so, you're a young kid, of course, the important things aren't always going to be as important when you're 10, 11 years old and you're picking these people. But what kind of things excited you about that type of lifestyle, besides just the obvious, the monies and the clothes?
At the time, I didn't know where it was going to lead me. So if I'd have known, it was going to lead me to where I'm at now, I would have never. I'd try something else.
You had they weren't going to get caught. I mean, you don't see the people going to jail. You see them out there living it up.
And then when you do it, you the one end up.
Well, I think everybody gets caught eventually if you do it long enough. Colin, what kind of things did you see that just excited you about this type of lifestyle and to get involved with the gangs?
Like the care they have for people though, like giving back, and like like the
Is that
cars,
real though?
and like the cars,
How they
Yeah.
get back and care for you?
like 'cause I had like my father, he used to sell drugs, and like he was like before he went to prison, he was a good father. He used to like when holidays come around, he used to do a lot of things for us, like the whole family. He used to do a lot of things for us.
Then he went away for quite a long time.
Yeah, didn't
Was he able to do anything for you then?
Nah.
If there's a man who, let's say, worked at McDonald's, you know, he worked 40, 50 hours a week, but brought home that check. It wasn't great money. You weren't wearing the brand new shoes or driving a new car, but he came home every week with that paycheck, and he was there every weekend or every other weekend. You think that would have done better than what your father had done?
Yeah, because then he would have been around more. He'd been around a lot.
But that's the risk with that type of lifestyle. You can get a lot of money really quickly and provide well, but there's that risk that you're going to go away for 10 to 15 years.
You ain't got nothing for him.
There's nothing a man can do for why he's locked up. I mean, you have to go see him. Did you ever have to go see your father in prison? Did you ever visit him?
Yeah, but then when he got forward, like, cause he's like in Virginia, I couldn't go visit.
What was that like visiting your father in prison?
I was young, I really didn't know. I just missed him a lot though. It hurt me. Yeah, I just missed him a lot.
Your father wasn't around at all, or was in and out?
Wasn't around at all.
Where was your father was?
He was in, like, they used to stand me up a lot though, but
Not really be there like he should have been.
he wasn't never locked up or nothing, but I mean, he just, I don't know if it was my mom's side of the family that kept him away, or he just wanted to live his own life. I mean, I was really confused, you know, I mean, I couldn't really say nothing, but I still loved him to death.
Any of you guys have kids yet?
Yeah, I got a son,
How old's your son?
2 years old.
You been in his life?
Nah, not really. Not really.
Are you planning on being in his life?
Yeah.
What changes do you have to make sure that you can stay in your son's life? Because your father wasn't around because of choices he made, and you're not around because of choices you've made at this point.
Like basically just calming down, just staying focused, being with the family, get a job. Just mainly focus on my education and getting a job and stuff. Have a career or something. Not having to do what my father did.
You will make it different
And
for your
basically
son?
learn from my mistakes. Yeah. Have my son have a good role model to look up to.
There's a cycle that comes along in a lot of families. Your dad was locked up, now you're locked up. If you don't make changes, your son is going to be locked up.
Yeah.
I mean, you realize that. If you don't break the cycle, your son has not a very good chance of staying out there and being successful. If you make changes now while you're young, there's a good chance your son can lead a good life.
Yeah.
If you're there and you show him how to be a man and stay out of prison. We want to talk about kind of the psychology. Okay, so why did you guys, you had some family issues and your fathers weren't around. Did that link you more to the groups, your negative groups in your neighborhoods? I mean, make it easier for you to want to be with these people?
What was wrong with people was just like, it wasn't the matter of just like being defined or nothing. It was just like basically respect and just to have fun. And as a kid growing up, I mean, in my neighborhood, you ain't had nothing to do.
Just boredom, and it's a glamorized lifestyle. I mean, you do get respect in a way from the community. Thompson, what about? We've also, you always want that respect. Now that you've been locked up for a little while and you see things differently, I hope. I mean, do you still see that same respect? Respect the same people you do before getting locked up, or do you respect a different type of person now? Or some things have changed?
Different.
Different how?
Cause it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's hard for me to explain it.
I mean, do you have more respect for just the working class guy who goes to work every day and is home for his kids on the weekends? Or, I mean, do you still respect the guys with the money and the cash and the flashy cars?
Now, it's the other way around. I respect the man that's doing right. But before I got locked up, I was the man getting the money. Had all the respect in the streets and stuff.
And then what kind of changes do you have to make to be more like that man who gets up and goes to work and
Don't get involved with the streets no more. Be yourself.
focus on yourself?
Yeah. Start your own life. Don't live nobody else's life.
Do you think some of those may have been some of the mistakes you made to get locked up as you were living, maybe not for other people, but you let other people have a large influence on what you did with your life?
Yeah.
Coleman, who do you respect now?
Myself, it's just my family. Cause, and yeah, like you said, the people that's working hard to take care of their family, because the people that's out there selling drugs, I feel like they just caring for themselves. They don't got no care for their family. Something happen, they either get locked up or killed. Then it's gonna come back on their families. Like you're saying, like he was saying, I respect the people that go out and work hard for their stuff.
What kind of changes do you need to make sure you're more like the second person who's gonna be able to take care of his family?
Just
You have a child, so
Yeah,
you
just have faith to never give up. Just have faith to put forth effort, get a job or something. Yeah.
Miles, what do you? Is your idea of who you respect changed since you've been here? Who do you respect now?
It's always been family, you know what I mean? But more than ever, I respect my dad, you know what I mean? He been trying, you know what I mean, just to stay clean and not only worry about me here, but also worry to take care of his family on out. And I seen him, you know what I mean, improving, like, as far as being a father, you know what I mean? He's trying more. I just appreciate it.